Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we're back down Barron's Pond on the NMG complex. I've got 4 to 5 hours fishing, not long. So all we're going to do is we're going to try and nick a bite, go for a bite at a time today. So we don't really want to waste no time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go locate the carp, find a couple of spots and get the rods out. So I'll see you guys once I've sort of worked out where they are and what they're up to, and we'll go from there. So I'm not really seeing a lot at the moment. I've seen a couple of patches of bubbles and that's about it. The only thing that I think that where the carp might be is holding up under this overhanging tree just over the pond here. So at the moment I'm thinking of pinging the rod under there with a little mesh bag on a, same again as the last video, a little Ronnie rig 7.5 inch of boom, size 4 crank, and that would just be with a yellow pop-up, just to settle over that silt a bit better. And then I've seen a couple of patches of fizzing again just off of that tree out in open water, so I think we're going to give that a go to start with. We can always move if we see carp elsewhere. There is something over the back over there just then, but there's not a lot of signs going around, so all we can do really is get a rod out and hope for a bite. Here we are. So I've clipped one tight under that tree that we just spoke about, and then one about a rod length off. I've seen 2 signs of carp there now. So what I've got is a spinner rig, size 4 crank, all hand sharpened into a 14mm yellow live system pop-up, and a tiny little mesh bag, a little parcel, not even a mouthful, just to try and get them feeding just one bite at a time. That's a live system pellet as well, and that's into a 3-ounce inline pear lead with about 1.5 foot of rig tube in. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to dip that into the liquid just as it goes out, so it disperses into the water column and hopefully gets them carp going down on that little parcel of bait, and we can pick off a bite that way. So that first rod landed bang on first time, lovely in there. A little bit of clutter, didn't hit the clip how I wanted it to, but it's there, confident with that one. So the other rod is the exact same approach, and that's going just off of that overhanging tree. Same again with the liquids, everything. I'm going to get them 2 there and I'm going to leave them, and I'm going to hopefully we can pick off a bite that way. Going to stay in the swim for an hour or so. If nothing happens, we'll move down to where I think the carp may be holding up, and hopefully we can get one out of the efforts today. So there we are, both rods on the spot, first time, bang on, confident with them. Little parcels of bait, yellow bait, as we're going into that autumn time. Hoping there's a few carp in the area and we could pick one off. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed, and now it's the waiting game. What I have just done is I've walked around with a handful of 6mm pellets, crept up to the spot very quietly and put them out. Small parcels of food, hopefully get them carp grabbing around, and they come across that yellow pop-up. It's a bit more visual in their face, and they get tricked up and take that one. I've had a little line off the right hand rod, so they're definitely within the area, so I may have to play it off and bring it back a bit to see if I can pick one off that way. So I thought I'd bring up the topic on air pressure. So currently we're in a high air pressure system, which isn't great for carp fishing. They tend to go into the mid depth or the upper layers this time of year, mainly mid depth, so it's quite hard to get them grabbing down and going onto your spots. So what I've done is I've chose spots close to marginal shelves, so they're slightly shallower, so that's where the carp will tend to push. So hopefully we can get them grabbing around like that. But with the low pressure systems, you find that that's when they really start getting their heads down. They hit the depth, they go to the deeper spots and really start to feed them. So if you can play that off into your fishing, you can tend to get more bites by going to the shallower areas in the high pressure, deeper middle sections, when it's the low pressure, when they're really going to get their heads down. So it is going to be a difficult session today. I'm not expecting much to happen, but we can only try and see if we can pick off a bite. So a couple of hours have passed now, not even a sniff. I haven't seen many about, so I think it's about time for a move. We've got about 3 hours left. I'm going to head down to the other end of the lake. Seen 1 or 2 bosh down there. Nothing's really... Oh! Liner now. I might stick in the swim a little bit longer. See how it goes for the next half an hour. But otherwise, yeah, I'll move around. There isn't too many signs of carp about, other than that one liner. Couple boshing down there. And that's about it, really. So I'll keep you updated. I'll see you guys in a bit. After a liner, I've got to stay in the swim for a little bit longer. We'll just see how it pans out from there. Right, so I've stuck it out a bit longer. No major signs of carp since that liner, so I am going to make the move. Going to go down to peg 5, I think. I've seen a few carp down there, so just about to reel the rods in, go down there, have another little look, see if there's any signs along that back bank, just as there was in the last video. I think they still may be holding up over there, so well, let's go have a look. I'll keep you updated. So here we are down in peg 5. Couple of signs of carp down here, which is a good thing. That's what we want. So basically this commands the back bank just to your right there, and just to the left you've got a bay with a big old margin down there as well. So there's 2 features there, and you've also got the open water. You can see most of the lake from here. So I'm going to get my rods clipped up to the spot. I'm going to follow through with the same approach. I believe the approach is right. I just don't think the carp were really down in numbers down that end again, just as the last video, if you've watched that one. If not, I'm going to put the link down below. Go check that one out. So yeah, let's follow that through, get the rods out. Hopefully we can bag carp. Absolutely gutted is an understatement. I've just moved around into peg 4, saw carp in numbers just off a spot known as Triple Trees. Got the rod out there, it's landed, and as I'm clipping that bobbin on, it's just tore off. Hooked into the fish. I was fighting it for about 5 minutes. It felt like a better fish. It was sort of powering down everywhere. But unfortunately, as that rig tubing just showed above the water as that fish was coming up, it popped off. Absolutely gutted. I'm not too sure what's going to happen next. I'm confident of what I've done. I've got about an hour left, but at the moment it's only 1 or 2 bites. Carp are being very slow. It's that time of year. I've only been on for a couple of hours and fishing for that 1 bite, and that was it. So that could have been my only opportunity, but we'll see what happens from here. Rod's bang on that spot again, straight where it come from. So we can only keep our fingers crossed and hopefully it tears off again. So after what's just happened, I've made the choice to put 2 rods over to that far bank. They're obviously over there. It didn't take long at all. So I've got one down towards Triple Trees here, nice and tight to that margin, and then one just down to the rushes over there, nice and tight again. Still gutted about that last one, but there's not a lot we can do. We can only move forward. We're doing things right. We've had a bite. We know things are working. So as I said, we move forward from there and hopefully we can bag one just before we leave. After that rod going back out, I've just had a weird occurrence on it. Tip was going slightly, bobbin come up a bit, a couple of beeps on the alarm, which I left it for a second. I thought could just be a liner, and then saw that tip knocking a bit more, and the bobbin kept like dancing up and down. There's no bream in here, so it couldn't have been a bream. But when I picked up into the rod, there was nothing there. So it could have just been some savage liners, I'm not too sure, but we're not having much luck today. I've got that back out there. I'm going to give it half an hour. Hopefully we can pick off a bite in between then. 4:30, we're losing light drastically. I can't really stay much longer, so I think we're going to call the session there. Unfortunately, we managed to lose one. At least we've managed to run. Keeps me confident for next time. It happens to the best of us. That's part of the game we play. So until the next video, I'll see you guys later.